guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today I've got a fun, I'm so excited video. And the reason why I'm so excited is because this video proves that all the women chase the Chads, the top 10 percenters. The 10 percenters will date women that are pretty or kind of average and okay just to have access to the easy bedroom. The women wanted to use him as well, but he beat them to the punch. They thought they were going to have the game on him. This literally is 552 of my videos wrapped into one, and that's why I love this. So make sure to share it. Make sure to get it out there. From Evie. Now, I saw a couple days ago this girl in the middle right here. She's 6 foot, like 6 foot or 6'1". She's very tall, and she lives in I guess West Elm, which is around Brooklyn, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Brooklyn. Anyway, she goes on this viral TikTok thing on Twitter ranting about this guy named, I guess his name's Caleb, that lives in West Elm, and she calls him West Elm Caleb. And she's furious because she wanted to have him as one of the multiple men that she had access to. In other words, she'd sleep with him and sleep with Tony and sleep with Bobby and get all her dates paid for, and he was going to be in the rotation. However, I think she really liked him because she was really upset that she didn't get to put him in the rotation. I'd play the TikTok video for you, but it's like 2.5 minutes long, and it's a bunch of ranting, which I don't want to subject you guys to. But Evie wrote an article on it. I'm glad they did, because it sums up the situation perfectly, because they found the other girls that this girl had been with. So West Elm Caleb and the TikTokers who are mad that a guy from a hookup app wanted a hookup. And this is so brilliant. So this girl over here on the right. Now, again, you could say none of these are attractive, all of them are attractive. Like, this is subjective, okay? But I would say personally, they're different ranges of attractiveness. That's just the way, visually. Like, they may be horrible people, but I mean just on the eyes. So this far one on the right says, when you're dating a man for 6 weeks and find out through a FYP, I don't know what that means. FYP TikTok, that he's lying to you and dating every other woman in New York City. And this girl was angry with him. And this girl was angry with him. And they said, if you haven't heard about West Elm Caleb, I commend you on your ability to miss the biggest thing on social media this week. Again, this went very viral on TikTok and on Reddit and Twitter and everything else. Says it all started with New York City women on TikTok shared a video about how she was ghosted by a man named Caleb, West Elm Caleb. Several women commented on the video. Apparently, the OP wasn't the first or last woman to be used by the 6'4" Caleb, a Brooklyn resident who, according to his bio, works as a furniture designer at West Elm. So this is the first girl here. I mean, I think she's pretty. And if you look at the different photos, though, these girls are definitely ranging in various attractiveness. And again, they're just but my point is they're all very different women. Like, this girl's probably regular height, but she's blonde, and I don't know, she's kind of average Jane, I guess. This girl's brunette and has dark hair and very pretty teeth. And the other one, the one in the middle at the top there, she, like I said, she's like 6 foot something. She's like 6'1", and she's like, it's very hard to find men to date because, of course, she only dates taller than her. So I'll get into this a little bit, but you guys will see what I'm talking about. They all chase the winners. They all chase the winners, and they all expect to catch the winner. And the winner does not want to settle down with any of them. He just uses all of them. So here's 3, maybe 6, maybe 8 girls, women, that are off the market for dating for other guys. They're off the market for a relationship. They're off the market for us normies because they're all in love with Caleb. And Caleb is a very tall, probably very good-looking guy. And he's just hitting it and quitting it on every single one of them. And this is important. It's not just one-nighters. One girl he dated for 6 weeks. Why? because he can, when he has a dry night and he doesn't have any other women that he's hooking up with, or they're busy or whatever, he can roll over to hers at 2 a.m. for a little bit of in and out, and then he hits the streets. And he's like, you know what, I'll tell her that we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, I'm not saying Caleb is a good dude by any means, but this is the guy that every woman chases after, a lot of women get, and they think he's all theirs, and he's just playing them. And I love it. I love this because it tells you everything we've said about hypergamy, about the winning guys, the top 10 percenters that are literally dating 80% of the market, about the women that would rather share a winner than find their own guy. Now, they didn't know they were sharing him. But again, why would he settle down when he has access to all these women? It's just brilliant. I mean, it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs today. But this is the dating market, and this is what I talk about in so many of my videos. He said he ghosted women after dates. Trash behavior to be sure, but pretty common in the dating market. He allegedly sent one woman an unsolicited spicy photo. We never do that, gentlemen. We're happy to debate whether this should or should not even be legal. After all, flashing a lady in real life is a crime. But currently, it's just hugely creepy, not illegal. He reused the same Spotify playlist and claimed he'd made it for each new woman. Honestly, making a playlist is so cheesy 90s that we're surprised girls were still falling for it. He love-bombed them, new dates, meaning he overwhelms them with interest and attention right away. It's often the beginning of a harmful relationship, but with Caleb, it doesn't seem to have ever led to him doing actual bad things to them. He just ghosted. He lied about still being unhinged. He told one woman over a coffee that it was his first time using the app. He told other women he had deleted the app after a few dates with them, even though he was still actively using it. He was dating several women at once. One woman figured out she had spent the night at his place on Friday night, woke up there on Saturday morning, and by 3 p.m. the same day, he was on a date with a different girl from Hinge. Okay. Now, you guys know me. I'm not going to go way down this, but I don't condone this stuff. It's just bad behavior. It's creepy behavior. But here's the thing. Women are doing it. Women are doing the same thing. Women have back burner guys. They have friends that are only friends. He's like a brother to me until he folds her up like origami. And then she ends up dumping you. Like, this is the dating market today. It is a hot mess. But here, this guy, again, very successful. This is the important part. Very successful with women. Very tall. I imagine very good looking. His job is okay, I guess. And so what's happening is all these women want this one man. And because he's the guy that they think that they deserve. And they go out with him. And he uses them. And you can say, well, not all. Okay, not all of anything. We don't talk in absolutes here. But this is literally what we talk about so many times when a woman says, oh, we've been dating for 6 weeks and he told me he got off the app and he tells me I'm special and I'm beautiful. Yeah, he's laying pipe into you. And he's laying pipe into 3 or 4 or 5 other women as well. And some of them he's told were dating long term, like the one girl was dating him for like 6 weeks. So what happens to all these girls? Well, we'll get into all that. But here's the point. These are the women that tell you you're no good. These are the women that say, you know what, you're not tall enough or attractive enough. You're not a top whatever percenter, 10 or 20 percenter. And so you never get a chance with them. Caleb gets all the chances. And what is Caleb? Caleb doesn't settle down. Caleb doesn't need to. He gets an array of women to choose from. And this is literally what we talk about with hypergamy and women waiting at the finish line. They don't want to run the race with a winner. They want to meet the guy at the finish line and then walk across the line with a winner. They all thought they were going to get Caleb, and none of them got Caleb. So they say, in summary, the guy is a lying creep who goes swimming and generally has lousy behavior. But did he deserve to become an internet sensation, get doxxed, and even have a billboard put up warning women to avoid him? I did not know they did all that. Probably not. No, of course not. Of course not. But see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you wrong crazy women. They will do crazy things to get back at you. If Caleb had a nice car, it might end up with a couple of keys down the side of it, or a flat tire, or a broken windshield. See, these women are very scorned, and they're very upset at him, and he did put himself into this mess. But see, When men do this to women, they'll go to no ends of the earth to harm you back. But if a woman does it to a man, well, it's just empowering. And she never said she was just exclusive to you, dude. Get over it, dude, bro, dude. So they say men, because men like Caleb aren't special or even uncommon. Let me pause you right there. They are special and uncommon. They're top 10 percenters. They're top 15 percenters. I mean, the guy's 6'4". I imagine he's good looking, especially if all these girls are chasing after him. So he is kind of rare and uncommon. But here's the thing. The way he acts, what she's saying isn't special or even uncommon, the way he's acting. Why? Because these guys that are top 10, 20 percenters have dozens of women to choose from. Hundreds. Maybe in New York City, they might have thousands if they're really good looking and that really top 1%. So he goes on a dating app and just hits it and hits it and hits it and keeps getting hooked up. So what he's doing isn't special or uncommon. They say basically par for the course in a dating culture that holds casual hookups above transparency, monogamy, and commitment. In fact, what the women seem mad about is that Caleb was basically treating them exactly as they had planned to treat him. Now, this I don't like using this term because it makes it seem like she did nothing wrong. One person, Kate Glavin, stated that she went on a date with Caleb with the intention of adding him to her arsenal. So to be clear, Kate is angry that Caleb, who is apparently balancing multiple women and not dating any of them exclusively, is treating her the same way she's treating him. Or as one Twitter user pointed out, no meaningless sex app delivered meaningless sex. Exactly right. So you went on a hookup app and you got hooked up and now you're upset. And this Kate Glavin said, I was going to add him to my arsenal of men. I was going to put him in my rotation. But because he did it to me, now I'm angry. Do you see the double standards here? But also, do you see their mindset on dating and on men? That's why I tell a lot of you guys, man, you got to vet for red flags. You got to watch out for some of these women because you don't want to be one dude in the arsenal. Because number one, it means you're probably going to end up buying her gifts or she's going to want you to take her out and pay for dates and things like that. And you know what? Maybe you get lucky at the end of the date. And I know some of you hate the term getting lucky, but it's YouTube and I have to come up with different words for all this stuff. Maybe you get to do the old in and out. Well, how many other guys in her arsenal have given her the old in and out in the same week or on the same day? We know it happens. They say there's a big double standard here. Women nowadays love to scream that they want to be treated the same as men until the moment that they don't. Just this week, for example, the double A, which is basically the triple A in the UK, which is the American Automotive Association, in the UK, came under fire by women who were angry they wouldn't prioritize her for a call for help because she's a woman. Dr. Helen Mott complained in a series of tweets as she waited in her broken-down car, saying, I'm a lone woman whose car is broken down at night. Your call handlers told me you treat lone women and lone men as exactly the same priority in such circumstances because that's equality. Yeah, exactly right. Where's my...
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Exactly right. This is what you wanted. Women wanted to sleep with as many men and treat them however they wanted to and get into hookup culture the same way that guys did it. You got it. Women wanted equality when it came to everything else. You got it. And then they're unhappy when it doesn't happen. The double, I don't know if they say it here. Apparently women who want equality when it suits us, but special treatment when it doesn't. Exactly. When it comes to dating, women want to act like men, sleep around casually and playing the field, but still want to enjoy the female privileges of paid for dinner dates and exclusivity, at least on the man's end. See, and this is what's happening. This is what's happening now, is that women want, when they get a top 10 guy, when they get an amazing guy, when they get to either sleep or go on a couple of dates with that guy, she's like, oh, I really like him. He's amazing. I want him all for myself. But you met him on a hookup app. He never said to them they were exclusive, at least from what I've seen. And so they want to act the same way, and then they want the guy to be exclusive. And when he's not, they're going to dox him and put it up on billboards and everything else. The same thing with the AA, which is the AAA in the UK. I read that article, and what the AA, the automotive kind of rescue service on the side of the road, what they were saying is, look, we take the situation. If you're in a very dark, secluded, quiet area, okay, you might be a little uncomfortable, but you're probably safer there than breaking down in a bad part of town in the city. So we treat those two circumstances differently based on the situation. If you have babies or young children with you, we adjust based on that. But we just male versus female, we do not adjust based on that. That's equality. That's what they wanted. So here's the thing that's so beautiful about this, okay, is that these women are all different. And let's say Caleb, I don't know what Caleb looks like. I have not dug into this further than seeing that one girl's TikTok video and this photo. Maybe there's a lot more out there. I don't care personally. But when you look at these women, I think you can say, if this one is not 6 feet tall, she's blonde. This one is probably petite, brunette, very different facial features. And the one here in the center, she is a very interesting looking girl. I'll say that much. But she's 6 foot or 6'1". So she's super tall. What's similar between all these women? Nothing really. And so when you take guys like this Caleb, who sounds like he's, again, 6 foot 6'4", he's very tall. He's probably very good looking. What's similar to all these women is that Caleb likes the strange. Caleb likes to play the game. Caleb likes to go out and have fun with all these women. One of them hooked up. One of them went on a date Saturday. One of them's been dating him for 6 weeks. And they all think that he's theirs. Now, maybe he said to the one blonde here, this one, it says, when you're dating a man for 6 weeks and find out through an FYP TikTok that he's lying to you and dating every other woman in New York City. Okay, that's a dick move. And he shouldn't have done that. But again, what these women are failing to understand is that men like Caleb do this because they can. They're the ones all the women want. And they don't have to behave. And they don't have to be gentlemen. And they don't have to pay for dinners and expensive vacations. They can just go on an app. They get tons of attention. He will sleep with any of them. I mean, again, you can say these girls all are very different looking. He'll just sleep with any of them because it's fun for him. Because a lot of men like to go out and just get a bunch of strange. They're not interested in tying down because he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to buy gifts. He doesn't have to wait until Christmas time or take you on a special vacation or buy dinner for them. Because he's like, all I have to do is swipe and I get 10 more. So I have to put in zero effort into any relationship. But because he's good looking, because he's tall, because he maybe does well for himself, these women fall all over themselves to get at him. And the irony is that at least a couple of these girls were planning to do the same thing with him, putting him in their rotation. The only thing is he beat them to the punch. So when you guys out there a lot of times are like, dude, I go on these dating apps, I don't have any success. Or I'm in the real world and the girl says I got a boyfriend and it never seems to go well for me. And maybe you're a pretty decent looking guy, or maybe you got your game together. Well, the West End Calebs are out there, and it takes one of him to maybe fool 3, 4, 5, 6 girls out on the market. It takes one of him to keep 6 girls off the market. And then when these girls are with a guy like Caleb, what happens is they say, you know what, he was tall, he was hot, he was successful, and I hooked up with him for a while. He was a jerk. But there's lots of other guys in New York City. Now, do you think that they're going to settle for a guy that isn't as attractive, or isn't as tall, or isn't as successful? Because they've already had it once. They've already had a taste of that sweet, sweet candy. So they're going to keep chasing after, and that's why we call them alpha widows, because they had an alpha guy, a very successful guy, They've had a taste of that, and they think, well, I deserve a guy like him. I just don't want him to be a jerk. I don't want him to treat me poorly. So I'm going to keep looking for that guy. And that guy doesn't really exist, because the Calebs of the world that have all these advantages, they don't want to get married. They don't want a wife. They don't want a long-term girlfriend. They want to go and play because they get so much attention. Leonardo DiCaprio is a good example of this. He's a millionaire. He's not in the best of shape. He's got kind of a dad bod. He's in his 40s now, and he's dating 20-year-old models, and he'll date them for sometimes 6 months or a year, sometimes a couple of years, and when they hit to be, 24, 25, he dumps them and goes for another younger model. He's married none of them. He's had to give none of his resources away. He's not gotten in trouble with the law with any of them. He's perpetually dating a 23-year-old woman. The difference is it's a different woman every time. Do you think why would he settle down? If Leonardo DiCaprio he's now, 45, we'll say. At 25, if he married a 23-year-old woman, at 45, he'd be married to a 43-year-old woman. Or she would have divorced him and taken a bunch of his money. She would have maybe given him a couple of kids that he can't see and he has to pay child support for. So instead of that, he's decided to kind of do the modern day dating, which is, I'll date for a while, then dump her and get a new one, and do it over and over. So as Leonardo DiCaprio ages, he's perpetually dating a 23, 24-year-old, and he just dumps him and moves on to a new one. And so his girlfriend is forever 23 or 24, even as he ages. These guys and why can he do that? Even though he's got a dad bod. He's Leonardo DiCaprio, a famous actor. Not too bad looking. But he doesn't have to jump through hoops. He doesn't have to provide her with beautiful engagement rings or $1 million wedding, or he just gets to hit it and quit it. And men like Caleb are doing the same thing. And that's the guy that all these women chase after. And I think it's brilliant, because they were going to do to him what he basically did to them, only they lost the game. And that's why they're doxing and they're angry at him, because basically he struck first. All right, let's do a dating profile of the day. All righty then. Now, this is kind of ironic, guys. I'll tell you why. Because this is from a sugar site. This was sent in. This is from a pay-to-play site for men. And even this quality is going bad. You'll see what I mean. She's 22. She's attractive. I blurred her face out. 22. She says, "Hey there, good looking. About me. I'm very shy at first, so please be patient with me. I'm very new to this. I'm hoping to make all your fantasies come true." So remember, she's advertising herself for the pay for play. She says, "Just to start off, I'm engaged in an open relationship. He's aware I'm on here, so no drama will occur. I have a 9-month-old as well, so I would absolutely love to travel, but just know I have her, so we will have to discuss things." She says, "About my match, I'm not too picky. I just want to meet a nice guy to show me what what it's like in a day in your world." Here's what's ironic about this, okay? And she's a pretty woman. So imagine you're the guy that's married to her, or engaged. You're engaged to her. You're engaged to her, but it's an open relationship. And she decides to get on a sugar site. So basically do the pay for play. And he knows it, she says, so there's no drama. And she has a 9-month-old. Now, I don't know about you, but number one, whoever engaged to this woman, good luck to you, because you're going to marry a professional. I mean, you can put all the nice words around it you want to and call them, whatever. But you're going to be marrying a professional. And if she's like this already at the age of 22, bruh, you've got, I don't know how many more years of this with this woman. And what happens when she meets a guy? Let's say she does. She meets a guy that's maybe he's not, I don't know, super attractive or anything, because he probably wouldn't be on this site. What happens if she meets a 45-year-old that's very successful, does well for himself? He takes a fancy to her. He gives her an in and out all the time. She really enjoys it. Turns out he's got good money. He's a very successful man. And he says, hey, why don't you come with me? This husband or this fiance is going to be out. Again, people have changed the rules to dating. They've changed the way we play the games. And now it is a hot mess where people want open relationships. Well, they want open relationships until they find a super winner, and then they want to lock him down. But the super winner cannot be locked down. And so after a few or a dozen or however many super winners these girls are dating, because West End Caleb is just going to cycle through them. He's just going to use them and toss them away over and over again. After a while, when a woman will date a few Calebs or several Calebs, she never says, you know what, maybe I'll just look for an average guy. Like, maybe I'm just kind of an average girl that needs to get an average guy and he'll make me happy. And no, that's not what happens. They keep meeting good-looking player, tall, good-looking player dude that breaks their heart over and over again. And what happens, they keep assuming that these are the men that they deserve, but they just keep meeting the wrong one. And they keep cycling through it over and over again until they hit the wall or until they get old enough or they have enough kids or something happens to where they're not being selected anymore. And they have no chance at the West End Calebs. And then that's when they say, hey, I need to find a guy that's a good provider, that'll be a good dad to my 4 kids, because I already have a family. And that's what women are expecting men today. They want the Calebs right up until they can't get guys anymore. And then they want some guy to settle. They want to settle for some guy, and they want that guy to provide for them and give them the rest of the life of luxury. That is until they meet another Caleb that maybe wants to sleep with them. Then they'll cheat on their current husband or sneak around behind his back or leave thinking that they've got a shot at another Caleb and it falls through. This is why things are such a mess. But the things that we talk about here, right? Hypergamy. They all want to chase the winner. They'd rather share a winner than be with an average guy. Here's literal proof of it. And these are young women. I don't know how old Caleb is, but these are young gals. Young 20s. They're doing the hypergamy thing, all chasing after the hot guy, the desirable. They're sharing a hot guy. And once that happens and it breaks their heart, they will keep looking for the hot guy because they've already had it. And it'd be just like you guys that if you dated 1 or 2 supermodels, but they ended up being crazy, narcissistic, like nutsos, and an average girl came to you, you'd be like, nah, I date supermodels, honey. I don't need somebody like you. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of mindset. And they just do it over and over and over again. And the part that really made this beautiful for me is the fact that they said, I wanted to do it to him. I wanted to add him in my rotation of men because maybe they have other Calebs they're also seeing. But he did it to me first, even though I was planning to do it. That's the ironic part of this. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, links are below as always. If you have, thank you very much. And the best way you can support me is like, comment, share, subscribe. Join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. I've got free speech forums, and I think we're up to almost 7,000 memes about dating and everything over there. It's free to talk about whatever. So join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com, and we'll see you in the next one.